So today's podcast is called So You've Had a Bad Day. I've been kind of having a bad day today, and just like the process going through it. I'm kind of tired of like having like all poor me stories a bit on the podcast, or like negative stories. But then I've realized that like I think the whole point of this podcast is really to just document my journey on the healing journey, like out of depression and stuff. And so there's always going to be some like shit that I'm dealing with or whatever. But I like to think it's kind of positive overtly. So yeah, today I woke up and just kind of instantly just wasn't really feeling that good. And so the first thing I did is I just let myself sleep. I slept for like another like hour and a half that I usually would, even though I know that might fuck up my sleep cycle and bedtime routine and shit. I just had to. It was worth it. It made me feel a lot better. My cat came and cuddled me, which was really, really nice. And I just had like a good talk to myself. Like when I woke up, I really sat with what I was feeling and just thought like, what is it? Like, what's going on? And I think I know what some of my triggers are at the moment. My perfectionism is pretty bad, which is me just like beating myself up always for just, not doing things good enough. I recently went on like a 1 month like cleanse, which I'm not going to get into too much right now because it's a bit controversial, but I just felt so good on that cleanse that like this week I've just introduced foods back again, and I've just been feeling like complete and utter shit, and I have a lot of shame and stuff around eating, and like because I've had eating disorders and shit in the past, and I'm realizing that that's coming up. But yeah, there's a few other things as well where it's just like realize that I was having those kind of thoughts. So I'm like, okay, at least I can recognize now, okay, it's probably perfectionism. So I know, try to tell myself the things I'm proud of myself or whatever. So then I wasn't feeling too bad. I got up and I tried to do my morning routine. Like I go outside, I say the things I'm grateful for, I try to meditate, and I was actually feeling like pretty good. And then I started cooking, and it was a complete fucking fail. Like I'm trying new recipes out because I've changed my diet so much. And like I saw one that was like I can make like Thai mince balls. So I can get like mince meat and put like green curry paste like with the mince and like eat that. And like I don't know what I was thinking, but I put like a whole tub in with the mince and it just like was fucked. And so like that triggered in me like I failed. So that's like that perfectionism shit coming back. I'm like, oh. And then I tried to do some work, and then like the work as well, I just wasn't feeling it. And I guess I'm feeling like I don't really know the next step forward, and that's fucking frustrating. And I just accepted it. And this is what helps me is like when I'm having like bad feelings, if I just accept it and stop trying to change it, it helps so much, because otherwise, like, my mind's trying to run away from it and avoid it and be like, we can change it. If we do X, Y, Z, cold swim, do this and that, then we can get out of this mood. And it's like that avoiding, I think, like perpetuates the problem. Like I think I've just finally accepted that there's some days are going to be really good and some days are just going to be bad. And I've just got to sit with that. And like something about that really helps, because then it's like, even if I'm not happy on those days, I'm kind of content, because at least I'm like there with myself. I haven't abandoned myself, like, and shamed myself and not being like, I don't know, enlightened enough to like be happy on this day. It's like, all right, at least I'm sitting in this with myself. The feeling I get is like, I don't know, when you had like a boyfriend or a girlfriend and you like kind of have a fight with them, and that day you're not talking or you're going through it in your mind or whatever, then like that night you kind of like make up and you feel good. It's almost like that feeling, like when I'm having a bad day, it's like some parts of myself are in conflict and like not getting along. And then when I just sit there and say like, I'm just going to have a bad day today, like whatever, then like it's almost like that coming back together and like that kind of good warm feeling that comes from that. I don't know. I think I've been really frustrated about the podcast as well lately, because I can't seem to find the way forward. My mind is like really taking over and going like I have to do like one podcast every week, and I'm going to list all these topics that I want to write about, and I could feel that it was going off path, and something about that was really frustrating me. And it's interesting because it's not until today when I smoked some weed and went for a walk that I finally fucking realized like what I'm doing right now and talking about this is what I'm meant to be talking about. It's not pulling like a book off the shelf and being like, I'm going to talk about depression today and like list A, B, and Z. I think sometimes maybe like it's like a cool journalistic report, but for the most part, it just has to come from the heart. And sometimes it's not consistent when it comes. And I think that's what's been frustrating me. me. And I've just have to trust and surrender and be like, you know, it might be, 6-month break until the next podcast. I don't think it will be, but it's like, I just have to trust that I'll always come back to that thread and find that thread again. And I think when I'm like feeling kind of having bad days, it's because I feel like I've lost that thread. I'm feeling a little bit lost and, you know, don't know where to step next, or just like sometimes I feel like depression is just a lack of faith. Sometimes I notice that on the days when I'm feeling like having bad days, I think they're usually days when I'm kind of, I'm lacking faith and stuff. I'm more pessimistic. I ask myself on these days, like, have I meditated, or have I been meditating recently? And I'll always realize, almost always, that there's like, no, I haven't. And so that's another thing as well. I think when I'm having bad days, it's because usually I'm avoiding myself or something. Like, I don't know. It's usually an indicator to me that like I need to look inside. Maybe there's something I'm avoiding or something, but like I need to look inside. And so like that's why I really love smoking weed. I feel like weed really connects me with myself. I feel like spiritually it's a plant that like heals me. It's interesting because I've spoken to my doctor about it because I'm prescribed medicinal cannabis, even though I don't really think that should matter, especially if you're drinking alcohol. I don't think it should be able to comment on me like smoking a plant or not, or judging that. But anyway, I've spoken to my doctor about it, and I said, I feel like I'm using weed as an antidepressant. Like it just helps me so much on the days when I'm feeling depressed. And he said that like, yes, smoking weed can be like THC can be like a bit of a band-aid though when it comes to like treating depression, as in it just helps you for that period of time, whereas CBD, that's something that is supposed to be able to help you with depression long term. I don't know how true this is. I haven't looked into the science myself, but this is just what my doctor told me. So I find that really interesting. But the reason why I find that weed helps me so much is because I feel like it connects me back to myself. And I feel like a lot of my illness, depression, as in mental illness and physical illness, comes because I'm avoiding myself. Like I have a quote and it says, I was sick because I was neglecting my soul. X. And so I smoke weed and it helps me. So then I went for a walk after that as well. And I feel like that helps me just, you know, clear my head. I've been enjoying walking at the moment. And so the thing that I kind of noticed when I was on a walk though is that like I realized that like I'm doing all these things today that I know make me feel better. I'm going for a walk, I'm journaling, I'm sleeping in, I'm smoking weed, and like my plan later is to go for a swim because I know that helps me too sometimes. And so I felt really proud of myself for that. I feel like the lesson of today, I feel like bad days are just meant to send you a lesson, really. That's why they're hard. I mean, truth is always hard to accept and acknowledge, but I think that's kind of the lesson today, that like, you know, I'm here for myself today. You know, I'm showing up and doing what I can, and when that's not working, I'm just fucking sitting with the pain and just writing it out. And I think that's really what I've been meant to learn today. Even things like today, I just let myself like scroll on TikTok for like an hour and something. I just didn't care. And it's like, I'm aware that I'm just using that to numb, but it's kind of like conscious numbing. Like I'm like, all right, well, you know, today I'm allowed to have a numb or a distraction, you know, and that's okay. So yeah, that's what I really want to say about that. This is just what I do on a bad day. Like I said, I think there's a lesson that you're meant to learn on bad days. And I think there's just an opportunity to really sit with yourself and be like, what's wrong? Because we don't do that often, you know, we distract ourselves. So maybe play this on a bad day. Well, this is the end now. So I guess you could play it in the future. So I'm Mew, and this is the journey of setting yourself free.